What would I do if I had my time back again with my son? If someone said to me, we can't bring your son back, but if you went back into that room, back into that bed, you had your C-section, and Rowan was put in a cot beside you, stillborn, and your two little girls were whisked away to the neonatal unit, and then you were wheeled back into that room to spend those few hours with your son, what would I do? The first thing I'd do would be to really look at him, to hold him, and to pull back the towel and to really look at him from the top of his head down to the soles of his feet. And then, with the help of a midwife, I'd turn him over and I'd look at the back of his head and his neck and his back and his shoulders and his little bottom and his legs and his tiny toes and the back of his feet. And as I looked at him, I'd ask questions and I'd reflect upon how he looked like his other siblings, or like his dad or his granddad. And I'd ask questions about his skin and the markings, and I'd find out that some of those markings were because he was 9.5 week prem. Some of those markings may have been because of the way that he was delivered, and some of them may well be because of the deterioration in him, because he died a while before he was actually born. And I would understand that the midwife wouldn't know all of the answers, but she might know some. Then what would I do? I'd wrap him up, and all the time I'd talk to him. And I'd tell him how much I loved him, and I'd kiss him on the forehead. And then I'd tell him that we're going to get some things from home. We're going to get the Moses basket that his big sister and his big brother had slept in. And we're going to get the changing mat and the towels. And I'm going to give him a little bath. And then we're going to dress him in a nice little outfit. And I'm going to choose an outfit, and it'll be just right for him. It'll have to be a special one because his skin is so fragile. And my partner would bring in those things for us from home. And while we were waiting, he might go in the cold cot for a little while. And in the meantime, I might pick out some outfits and arrange for my family to come and meet him. I'll say, remember the book, bring the book with you. Guess how much I love you. Or, oh, I know, we're going on a bear hunt. I'd like that one. And my partner would come and bring all the things. And with the help of the midwife and with the utmost care, we'd probably, because he was in poor condition, we'd probably just hold him over a bath. But I'd perhaps just pour some water over his head and maybe just wipe his little hands. We'd have to do that perhaps on the bed because I had a C-section, and we might need just a little bowl and some cotton wool, and I'd pat him dry. And every moment of this, from the very first moment that I clapped eyes on him, from the time that I was exploring his body and having him washed, someone would be in the back of the room, very quietly and unobtrusively taking photographs And every now and again they would come nearer, even over my shoulder, but they wouldn't speak to me. They would just capture everything going on. And I'd kind of be aware that they were there, but it would be okay. And sometimes I'd forget that they were there. And there'd be one particular photograph as I'm looking at him and smiling. Hello, Rowan, my little boy. And then after we'd patted him dry after his bath, and very carefully lay him on the bed in this snuggly little towel that I've got from home that his big brother had been in when he was a baby. And we'd have his teddy. And we'd find this little outfit for him, put his nappy on, and it would be the tiniest, tiniest nappy. And I'd have another nappy that was the same size that I could keep in a memory box that I've been shown. And we'd very, very carefully put a little outfit on him and then snuggle him in his own Moses basket. Just for a little while. Maybe we'd have a cold mattress underneath so we could put him in his own Moses basket, and then we'd look at him and I'd sing him the songs that I sing to all my children when they're first born. And I'd sing him the songs, and then I'd read him the story. And then my children will come, and I wouldn't be able to cope with my children's energy. But there would be another room, another place that my children and my mother-in-law and my friends could come and see him. But my children would come with their granny, and they'd go into the other room with their dad, and they'd read him another story, and they'd look at his tiny fingers and toes, and all the time this would be captured on camera. And then I'd have him in bed with me, and maybe we'd sleep for a bit. And at some point I'd be ready to say goodbye. Oh, we'd do hand and footprints as well, and a lock of his hair, but we would do them. Yeah, we would do them. That would be amazing. I didn't think of those things. I was very grateful, very, very grateful for the midwife and everything she did. But I didn't know that I could do all those things. It just didn't occur to me. I didn't know what he had underneath his gown. I never saw his body fully. I never bathed him, I never dressed him. I did kiss him. I never really looked at him properly. I didn't bring anyone in to meet him. And I have regrets. Now, we lose our babies, and research is going on and lots of brilliant stuff's being done to try and help reduce stillbirth, and that's, making a difference. Enabling parents not to have regrets during the time they spend with their baby will also make a difference, because it brings us as parents comfort. If I have 3 photographs, and I have nothing I can share. If I had all of those pictures and a rich experience like the one I've just described, it would really help and bring me comfort. Now, not every parent wants all of that, but I know a lot of parents that would have said there's one thing or two things or three things that would have meant a huge amount. Now, why don't parents necessarily get this? Well, that's what the training course looks at. The No Regrets training course is both an online course and a workshop. It looks at what the blocks are to parents having that opportunity for that kind of very rich care, what things make that difficult, and how to overcome some of those problems, as well as looking at how you can take photographs in an unobtrusive and meaningful way. The No Regrets training is a combination of all the experience of the workshops that I've been running since 2011 up and down the country, training midwives and neonatal staff and medical photographers. It's an accumulation of that training, of hearing staff's stories of their experience, of hearing parents' stories of their experience, and of pulling in my own experience as an occupational therapist who worked with people for many years who didn't engage in mental health services, and we had to put in strategies in place that would help to empower them and help them to collaborate with us. And I'm using some of those strategies now to sort of show you how you can support parents who are traumatized and frightened and perhaps unsure about taking this step of fully engaging and immersing themselves in the time they spend with their baby. So we have strategies that look at that, as well as the fly on the wall documentary photography. And I'm very excited to deliver this program, which has taken some years now to finally get to this point. And we've had a few other things that we've explored and looked at, but this is the final product from all the feedback we've had and from the work we've done to date. There are key charities that are really keen on supporting and are supporting this training and funding it, because they know as bereaved parents that they had regrets and they don't want other parents to have regrets. We're already grieving for our child. We don't need to be grieving for the things that we didn't think of doing. We need staff to guide us and support us. And I can show you how to do that.